Hello friends and welcome back. Today I'm going to walk you through the team agreements protocol that creates an engaging and productive workplace for your team that supports a positive and inclusive culture. And stay tuned until the end where I'm going to show you how you can integrate this protocol moving forward at the beginning and end of each meeting in less than 60 seconds. Let's get started. Most teams focus on productivity and performance. That's the doing. But we're not just human doers that merely exist in order to engage in action. We're human beings. So let's also focus our attention on how we come together and interact in order to do great work. So how do we create an intelligent team that can come together to do great work? Well, that's going to be the team agreements protocol. That's going to really create the foundation for how we interact with each other. So this protocol was influenced by one of my favorite books, Creating Intelligent Teams by Rod and Freejohn. So let's go through this process step by step. So as a team lead, as you are preparing to think about how to implement the team agreements protocol, you want to start by thinking about what does your team need? Think about the context of your team, some challenges that your team faces, because we want to consider guiding questions that are going to focus on collaboration and communication. So for example, think about psychological safety, confidentiality, communication, conflict resolution, decision making. The thinking that they do and the team agreements that come out of this are only as good as the prompts that we use. Step one of this protocol is individual reflection for just a few minutes. So give each team an envelope containing 3 to 5 index cards, depending on how many prompts you want to use. Each colored card contains different guiding questions. Here's some examples. For psychological safety, you might say, what do you need from the team to feel safe sharing ideas, taking risks, or admitting mistakes? For confidentiality, you might ask, what information should stay within our team, and how should we handle sensitive discussions? For conflict resolution, an example could be, how should we address disagreements or tensions within the team? For communication, what communication norms would help our team work more effectively together? And for decision making, you could ask, how should important decisions be made within our team? So participants answer the questions on sticky notes, and every idea they have should go on a different sticky note. So give them plenty of sticky notes to work with. Also, participants could focus on all the questions that are given, or they might just want to focus on the ones that are important to them. So provide a little flexibility there. So step 2, post the responses. When finished with individual reflection, participants place their sticky notes on the corresponding chart paper, matching the index card color. Step 3 is to organize those sticky notes. We also call this affinity mapping. So this is an opportunity for team members. It might be 2 or 3 members, depending on the size of the team, come together at a particular poster that they've been assigned, and they move the sticky notes around based on common themes that emerge. So they can group those together. They might even circle those themes. They could put a title to those themes as well to help them communicate that out to the team later. So step 4, we want to share those themes. So a representative from each chart paper will then present the common themes that they found. And this will be an opportunity to have just a quick discussion amongst the whole group on any clarity and modify those themes as needed. Step 5, consolidation. So a designated note taker records all themes on separate chart paper, and this consolidated list becomes a foundation for the final agreements. So keep in mind that we are looking for common themes across all the charts. In step 6, we're going to create the team agreements. Using the consolidated themes, the team drafts final agreements, record those final agreements on chart paper. Pro tip, ensure that the team agreements are not too specific so they can be used in a broad range of contexts. More about this later. In step 7, the most important step is implementation. Create a final document of team agreements. Distribute to all team members. Display the agreements in a visible location during meetings. Use it at the start of each meeting to help set the intention based on the agenda's topic. Keep in mind, meeting time is very precious, so we're going to do this in less than 60 seconds. Here's another pro tip. So let's say you want to set the intention of today's meeting by asking, which of these agreements will help support us in looking at student work samples today? And somebody says, being open-minded. You would follow up by saying, what would this look like? This is going to help us get clear and concrete actions that's going to be practical and relevant in today's meeting. And finally, at the end of each meeting, quickly, this is very quick, right? So at the end of each meeting, we want to use it as an opportunity to reflect. Here's another pro tip for you. Let's say that the team was having a little difficulty in how they were communicating and collaborating in a meeting. Make a note of that and use that as a formative evaluation that's going to inform the next meeting. So in the next meeting, you could remind the team of the challenge from the previous meeting to set the intention for that day's collaboration. Let's look at some challenges that I have seen over the years, one of which is superficial guiding questions. So team agreements such as be on time and bring snacks might be important, but are not going to move the needle on team effectiveness and increasing student achievement. Instead, make sure that you're providing prompts that focus on collaboration and communication. So another challenge is spending too much time trying to craft the perfect agreements. So from one of my favorites, How the Way We Talk Changes the Way We Work from Keegan and Leahy, they mention this idea of specific agreements restricting and turning into rules. And what we're looking for are broader agreements that empower and allow us to be flexible based on the context of the meeting. The team agreements is a living document that is going to grow as the team grows. They will change as the team changes. Another idea from Keegan and Leahy is this contrast between our espoused theory, that's our ideal, that's what we aspire to, and that's what we say we want, versus our theory in action. This is what we're actually doing. This is the reality of our day-to-day communication and collaboration. So leverage those team agreements so that we can help team members see the gap between their actions and the ideal so that we can close that gap over time. So don't make judgments, just support team members in being their best selves. Keegan and Leahy say, without agreements, there can be no violations. Agreements create violations by shining a light on behaviors that do not serve the team. By simply reminding others of the team agreements, invokes collective agreement, which inspires others to be their best selves and move towards the team's integrity. Now let's go to modifications, and let's look at a streamlined version that forgoes the envelopes and index cards and just focuses on 2 or 3 guiding questions. For example, you could project a few guiding questions on the screen, such as, what do you need in order to show up and do your work? What behaviors will get in the way of you showing up and doing the work? And what does support look like? So participants can put all their ideas, each one on a different sticky note. The sticky notes could all be the same color in this case, and they could just place them on the table or put them on a wall, and the team could gather around and look for some common themes, and then follow the protocol to come up with their final team agreements. So enhancing the digital intelligence of the team, let's look at a way that we can leverage AI to help support the team. So consider having participants all work on a common Google Doc or spreadsheet, recording all of their responses to the guiding questions. When done, upload to your favorite AI with the following prompt. Analyze our team's responses to the psychological safety, voice equity, productive conflict, and accountability questions. For each category, 1. Identify key themes with specific examples from our responses. 2. Suggest 3 to 5 broad, principle-based team agreements that could apply across various contexts. And 3. Include 1 to 2 examples of how each principle might manifest in practice. Focus on the agreements that foster flexibility while still providing meaningful guidance. Present results that balance clarity with adaptability. The team can then review and discuss the results from AI and come up with their final team agreements. So this team agreements protocol is a structured way to transform teams from merely performing tasks to building collaborative communities. By focusing on who we are for each other and not just what we do, we can engage in the collegial conversations that high-performing teams need. So these team agreements gives us the foundation for being human beings that do great work rather than just human doers that are trying to get things done. When we establish our team agreements together with intentionality, we not only achieve our goals, but we thrive. So I'd love to hear how the team agreements protocol works for your team. So be sure to add that to the comments below. I'd love to hear how it's working. And I might get some ideas of how to modify this for myself. If you found this helpful, please like and subscribe for more practical team development protocols. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Dude, what are you doing? You come here.